The soft hum of machines filled the small hospital room. A frail girl named Emily lay in bed, her tiny fingers clutching a worn-out teddy bear. At just 9 years old, Emily had spent more time in hospitals than playgrounds. Diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer, her condition had worsened rapidly. Doctors had done everything they could. Now it was about comfort and time. Despite the pain, Emily remained a bright light. Her smile could warm even the coldest room. Nurses adored her. Volunteers took turns reading to her. But there was one wish she clung to, one final dream before her time ran out. "I want to meet Donald Trump," she whispered one day. The nurses looked at each other. It wasn't what they expected. They gently asked her again to make sure. But Emily was sure. "He's so strong. He doesn't give up. I want to tell him he's brave, like me." Her parents were hesitant at first. Politics hadn't been a focus. Their days were filled with treatments and survival. But to Emily, it wasn't about politics. It was about courage. Her idea of a fighter was someone who never backed down, someone like Trump. So the staff helped. They wrote letters, they made calls. A local nonprofit picked up the story and shared it online. The story spread like wildfire. And then something unexpected happened. One quiet afternoon, the hospital wing was filled with murmurs. Secret Service agents arrived. A black SUV pulled up, and out stepped former President Donald Trump himself. He walked in, no cameras, no press, no grand entrance. Just him, holding a bouquet of pink tulips, Emily's favorite. Emily's eyes widened. Her frail body struggled to sit up, but the energy that overtook her was undeniable. "Mr. Trump?" she asked, voice trembling. He walked over, gently sat beside her and held her hand. "Oh, sweetheart," he said softly. "I heard you're one of the bravest fighters out there." The room fell silent. Her parents stood frozen, watching this surreal moment unfold. For the next 40 minutes, the two talked. She told him about her dog, Charlie. He told her about the time he fell off a horse when he was a kid, embellishing the story to make her laugh. She showed him her crayon drawings. He told her she was a better artist than anyone he'd ever met. Before he left, he bent down and whispered something in her ear. Her eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of joy. Later, Emily's mother shared what he said. "You've already changed the world, little one. You're the strongest person I've ever met." But the story didn't end there. A week after the visit, Emily passed away peacefully in her sleep. Her family grieved, heartbroken but grateful. They believed her wish gave her peace in her final days. Then another surprise. A letter arrived at their home, hand-signed by Trump. Enclosed was a check to cover all of Emily's medical expenses. But more than that, there was a deed transferring ownership of a small home near the lake Emily had always dreamed of visiting. The letter read, "No amount of money can ease the pain of losing a child, but let this home be a place where you find peace, where her spirit lives on, and where laughter returns someday. With deepest respect, Donald J. Trump." Tears flowed again, but this time from gratitude. Her father, once skeptical, said during an interview, "We never asked for anything, but he gave us more than we could have imagined. He gave our daughter joy. He gave us dignity, and he gave us hope." In the years that followed, the family turned their new lake home into a small retreat, Emily's Place, a space for families with terminally ill children to come and find rest. The project was funded in part by a quiet donation from Trump, never made public until much later. What began as a little girl's final wish became a lasting legacy, and for one family, one act of kindness changed everything, not just in memory, but in purpose. Because sometimes a wish is more than a moment. It's a miracle in motion. As word of Emily's Place began to spread, families from across the country reached out. Some sent letters, others made long drives just to stay for a weekend, to breathe, to cry, to heal. The house by the lake had become more than just a retreat. It became a symbol of how one small life could create a ripple that touched many. Every year on the anniversary of Emily's passing, the family held a quiet candlelight vigil at the lake. Former President Trump never returned publicly, but each year, without fail, a bouquet of pink tulips would appear at the doorstep with a note that simply read, "Still thinking of the bravest little girl I ever met." He never sought credit, never posted about it, never made it a talking point in interviews. For once, the world saw a different side of the man. Not the politician, not the celebrity, but a human being capable of empathy and grace. Eventually, Emily's place was granted nonprofit status. It received local and national recognition. Volunteers, many of them former patients' families, helped run the space. Nurses who once treated Emily came to offer therapy sessions and art classes. Trump's original donation had been just the seed. What followed was a garden that kept blooming, year after year. During one summer, a mother staying at the retreat with her son described her experience on social media. "I came here broken, watching my child slip away. I found peace. I found kindness, and I found Emily in every corner. Her spirit comforts every parent who walks through that door." That post went viral. The media eventually caught wind, trying to tie it back to political narratives, but the family declined all interviews. They made one statement: this was never about politics. This was about a little girl's heart and a man who chose to honor it. And that made all the difference. Years later, when the story was featured in a book about kindness and legacy, Trump was asked about the visit during a private interview. He paused, visibly moved, and said, "I've shaken hands with kings and presidents. But that little girl, she had more courage than all of them combined. That visit changed me." He looked away briefly, collecting himself. Sometimes we think we're going to inspire others, but it turns out they're the ones who inspire us." Today, a plaque sits outside Emily's place. It reads, "One small heart, one final wish, a legacy that never ends." And in that legacy, lives were changed, not by politics, not by power, but by the quiet, unstoppable strength of a child's love and the unexpected humanity of a man who answered her call.